you could change any choice you have ever made, would you? You can always make another choice and change the course of your success. Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of the Inspired Choices Show, business optimization expert, Christine McIver.
That's right. It's Christine McIver. Welcome, everyone, to tonight's show. I am your host of the Inspired Choices Show, coming to you every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. I have been doing my show now for 12 years, and I still have something to talk about. How amazing is that? So I'm really glad that you're here tonight. And if you are listening in the replay, please put hashtag replay wherever you're listening. If you would like to reach out to me either during the show, you can come join us at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com/chat room. If you would like to reach out to me post-show production, so this show is being created on October the 25th, 2023, you can certainly send me an email at christine@inspiredchoices.ca, CA for Canada. So welcome everyone to tonight's show. Tonight we're talking about mastering the art of visibility. Who actually wants to master the art of visibility? I would love to hear I do. And maybe some of you are actually scared to master the art of visibility, or you don't even know that you possibly are scared. So we're going to get into all of that tonight. Before we do, I want to tell you a little bit about who I am. I am a business optimization expert, a business coach. I work with entrepreneurs, both small and large, to really help them to find the gaps in their business, to see what needs to be created so that they can get more exposure, so that they can streamline their business, have more pleasure and more finances come their way. It's something that I love to do. I love working with entrepreneurs and really showing them how much easier it can be in their business when they put the right systems in place and they understand some of the dynamics of doing business online, working with computers, working with websites, working with social media platforms. And it's something that I have great pleasure in doing and, of course, sharing with all of my clients. Now, a lot of the times we think that we're going to be able to do everything on our own, and that's not always the case. And if you're someone who wants to bring your voice to the world and you would like to actually have your own podcast or TV show, you want to contact me because I'm also the CEO of the Inspired Choices Network. And it's a really turnkey operation for you. You get to show up, bring your expertise and your brilliance to the airwaves, and we take care of all the rest for you. It's something that brings us a great deal of joy and pleasure because I believe strongly that you should stay in your field. Because when you become an expert at what you do, you're going to elevate yourself and you're going to elevate your business. Allowing others to take care of the details that are not your area of expertise makes your job much easier and much more pleasurable. So again, if you'd like to contact me, Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. So tonight we are going to talk about mastering the art of visibility. Does trying to figure out how to be visible keep you up at night? Is that something that you're thinking about? How am I going to get out there? How am I going to be seen? How are people going to know about me? Are you a professional or entrepreneur who's struggling to make your mark in a crowded digital world? I know many people who are struggling with that. Do you want to unlock the secrets of getting noticed, building a strong brand, and becoming a recognized expert in your field? Well, if you said yes to any of those questions, you're in the right place tonight because we're going to dive into all of that. So what is it all about? Really mastering? How do we master the art of visibility? Well, the very first thing is that you have to be willing. Are you willing to be seen? Are you willing to be heard? Is it something that excites you? Is it something that you're drawn to? Ask yourself that question. Do you ever worry about how people will respond to you when you are visible? You know, a lot of people talk about they don't want to be famous. They don't want to be famous because they watch other people go through struggles with being famous. And I understand that. In fact, I heard Ben Affleck in a little video clip today talking about how he doesn't want to be famous. He just wants to be able to do his art. And part of becoming an expert in your field is learning to elevate who you are, and the visibility comes along with it. Now, you may not become as famous as a Ben Affleck or any other movie stars out there. However, you may become very well known to the point that you might start to have people react to the things that you're doing and saying. And that's really an area where you want to get some support and really look at psychologically what that does to you, and what is really triggered within you when you think about that. My point of view, and it's an interesting point of view, is I can ignore someone who is being rude. I can ignore someone who's being unkind. On all the social media platforms today, you can delete people's nasty comments. But what I've also seen is that when somebody is making a comment that's nasty, there'll probably be 4 or 5 people jump in and snap at them before you even need to respond. But if that is something that you're concerned about, and if there's even 1% of concern about being visible, that level of concern could actually be holding you back from making choices to become more visible. And it can be holding you back. Like, if you're not really truly aware of this and you haven't really examined this before, you may not even realize how much you're holding yourself back because you haven't really addressed it. So that's an important piece to really ask yourself some questions about. Do I actually desire to be really visible, to master this art of being visible, and to have people really know who I am? Now, it's a new world. We're so fresh in this new world of being so visible, being so accessible, being so planted into so many different areas, into so many different societies. It's very new. So if you're uncomfortable with it, if you question it, if you're worrying about how you look or what you're saying, please know that you are normal. First and foremost, know that you are normal. But also know that you have a choice. And as you make your choices to step out and be visible, you're also going to be learning from your choices, right? We learn from our choices all the time. Thank goodness. Learning from our choices allows us to tweak how we're showing up. It allows us to manipulate what really works for us and what's really going to contribute to us. Your art of being visible, you're really mastering the art of being visible, is about you. The benefits will come later, but this is really about you, and really truly about what's going on within you. So this is where, again, even though we're talking about business, this is where the psychology comes into play and is so, so important. The best message in the world, not given proper visibility, brings absolutely no value to the creator. Now, that's a quote that I said a number of years ago when I was actually being interviewed in a car, if you can imagine. And when I was being interviewed and when I was talking, we were talking about the visibility and how important it is. And while you have a message, if you have a message on your heart, if there are things that you know that will contribute to the world, that will contribute to other people, it is such a necessity that you show up and get proper visibility. Because that message, you definitely don't want to die with that song inside of you. That was a quote by Dr. Wayne Dyer. Don't die with your song unsung within you. And this is so, so important that you understand that until you get the proper visibility, your expertise and your message is not going to be able to be received. And so wanting to get to that place of understanding what visibility is like for you, how you are when you show up or you don't show up, really seeing what's going on within you is extremely important. Now, we live in a very different world today than we did 20 years ago. 20 years ago, if you had your own business, you put out that, come on in, we're open sign, right? And people walked into your business. Today, business owners online are walking out to meet their future clients and customers. So we have to, because we no longer have those primarily storefronts, and so many more people are in their own business, which I think is absolutely fantastic. We have to understand that just by putting your open hours on your website or by setting up your booking calendar with your open hours does not mean that anyone is aware that you are actually open. So when you are posting, when you're creating some kind of content that you're sharing online, on your website, through perhaps your podcast, your TV show, like we do here, when you are creating clips, video clips, images, social media memes, when you are typing even out just a plain quote, when you are doing that, you are actually telling people, hey, I'm open. I'm open for business. You don't have that sign that you flip. You showing up is your sign that you are open. So if you're not showing up, you're not regularly and consistently showing up, how are people going to know that you're open? How are people going to know that you actually have a business that's still active, and a business that is thriving, and you are desiring to have them come and communicate with you, right? It's so important that we understand that people only remember the last thing that they saw from you. And with the algorithms today, it's so important that you understand they're not going to see everything that you are doing. Now, another big piece that's so important, a lot of people say, don't worry about being on all social media platforms. And I don't agree with that at all. I think that that's a foolish thought. Most people, especially people that are, 40 and over, their desire, their primary social media platform, is on most of the time Facebook. And a lot of people that I connect with, that's their primary social media platform is Facebook. But here's the thing. When you're in Facebook, the people that are seeing your content are people that you are already connected with. So yes, keep sending out information, keep being visible to them for sure. But if you're looking for new people, if you're looking for just the random person to find you that is looking for your level of content, you have to show up on other platforms. And that's one of the arts of being visible. If your content is being desired, but is not being able to be discovered, if you're not on their chosen platform, it's not about you. It's about that customer or client that's looking for you. If you're not on their platform of choice, they're not going to find you. So understanding how the other platforms operate, understanding what's primary in Instagram, how to do LinkedIn differently than you do Facebook and Instagram, showing up on TikTok is such an amazing platform now that, gone are the boohoo about it's a kid's platform. It is definitely not a kid's platform. Understanding that Pinterest is still a very viable, rich platform where there is a lot of business being done. When you're showing up on all of these platforms and you are sharing your content, the probability of you being discovered is you've just 5 times it from being just on Facebook. So it's important that you understand it's like if you're going to advertise, back in the day when your advertising primarily was through the newspaper, you would, if there were 3 newspapers in your city, you would advertise in all 3 of those newspapers so that you were hopefully being seen by the majority of the population in that city. This is the same act. You need to be showing up on all platforms, and it's not as hard as you think. So we're up to our first break. Thank you so much for being here. We are going to head off just for a couple of minutes. When we get back, we're going to dive deeper into the art of the art of visibility and really helping you to elevate yourself. So you're listening to Christine McIver. That's me on the Inspired Choices Network on my show, Inspired Choices. I'll see you shortly.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. If you're just joining, we're talking about mastering the art of visibility, and we're talking about that from a perspective of being in business. Now, if you missed the first segment, we talked about how you have to be willing to be seen and to be heard, and how you really need to do some deep diving to see if there's any resistance that you have to being visible. If you're concerned about stalkers, if you're concerned about people being unkind, you need to really do some deep diving in there. There's millions and millions of people in the world that absolutely can be discovering your brilliance and your level of expertise. And there's very few that would actually turn around and be a problem for you. But if that's there, it may or may not be something that is bothering you. But if it is even 1%, it can impact how you're showing up and how visible you are. Everything is energy. So that's an energy of resistance. And so can you imagine that you're putting something out to the world while simultaneously resisting somebody actually seeing that? Right? That's not going to really flow very, very easily. So it's so important that you pay attention to that. And remember that until you get proper visibility, your message is not going to be received. It's so important that you realize that there are people that know you, that probably know what you talk about now, that they know your level of expertise. But if you're looking for new customers, if you're looking for new clients, if you're looking for a new revenue stream, it's important you be discovered and be seen on different avenues with different people. So if you're resisting at being on any of the social media platforms, that's where, I would love to work with you to really start to see what we can do to change that, because these platforms all deliver in a different way. I think I heard it said like this. On LinkedIn, you wear a suit. On Facebook, you wear casual clothes. On Instagram, you wear shorts. On TikTok, you wear whatever you want. But there are customers there that are still looking for what you have to offer. And I can tell you something, TikTok is one of my newest favorite platforms because I get to discover new people every single solitary time I am on there. The algorithm, the way that they've got the algorithm set is so incredibly different. And you can follow the people that you're already following, or they call it the For You page, I think it's called, and you can just discover new people. And of course, that algorithm is kicking in on that page, but you can also type in anything that you're interested in and then suddenly be in a whole stream of different people with different content. So if you're looking for a new revenue stream, TikTok is one of the places that you absolutely can be discovered on. So let's talk about the importance of visibility and why is visibility crucial in today's business world? Well, it's because we all know that the market is oversaturated. And why is the market oversaturated? It's oversaturated because it's new. It's a new thing that we're doing. And when I say new, it's not even 20 years old, right? It's also oversaturated because a lot of people are in their own business and they are posting, or they're working for someone else and they are posting. That's not a bad thing, okay? But if you're going to be seen, if you're going to be discovered, you have to be sharing and active on these platforms. So you need to up your visibility. So yes, we have more people online today. We have more people doing business online today. And we have more people struggling in business, trying to make a buck and not knowing how to do that with a plan and with ease. So many entrepreneurs are throwing all they've got at every possible platform randomly. And while I really strongly want you to show up with your content there, you also need to have a strategy. And one of the things that you want to do is you want to actually have a strategy of the content that you want to share, your area of expertise of the things that you know, the things that you talk about, the things that you coach about, the things that you inform and educate about. You want to create that content and have that content laid out in a strategy, what you're going to post, how you're going to post it. Is it going to be just typed words? Is it going to be a video? Is it going to be an image? How are you going to do that? Maybe you're going to do a live post, a live on that platform, and you're going to share your content that way. Maybe you're going to write a book. And from that book, you can extract so much information that you can be breaking that down and repurposing that content again into social media. But you need to have a strategy. And when you don't have a strategy, what's going to happen is you're going to get frustrated, you're going to get overwhelmed, and you're going to run away because you're going to be uncomfortable. Most people do not have a strategy. And most people are waking up going, okay, I know I need to post today. I don't know what the heck I'm going to post. Like, oh my God, what should I talk about? What should I talk about? What should I talk about? And I have worked with clients. I work with my hosts on the network here, and I go through and I really speak with them about, tell me what you do. Tell me, is that everything? And I keep asking, is that it? Is there anything else? What do you coach about? Think about the last several coaching sessions that you've had. What do you talk about? And before we know it, in fact, there's one client, and she knows who I'm going to be talking about here. On her website, I think she had maybe 6 or 7 things listed that she did. And when we sat down to do her strategic business strategy session, what we came up with was there were 17 different things that she did, but yet she wasn't given visibility on her website. Now, this is not a fault of hers, but what it is understanding that we need to have someone, first of all, challenge us to really look at things from a different perspective. Because when we're doing this by ourselves, we often have tunnel vision. Well, this is what I should be talking about. But when you have a professional like a business coach work with you, they can see things from different angles. And then they can really help you go through your website, your social media platforms, and really look at what it is that you have been doing and look for the gaps and what you haven't been doing. And when you do that, you start to see, and I'm telling you, this has happened more. Well, it's happened with everyone that I've ever worked with, is there's more that they're not doing that they thought they were doing, but because they weren't laying it out with a real total strategy, they were missing it. They were totally missing it. And that's unfortunate because you have so much as a business entrepreneur, as an expert in your field, you have so much knowledge that we don't even realize how much knowledge we honestly have. Now, one of the most important areas for you to understand is that your voice is one of the biggest ways that you bring out your expertise to the world, your physical voice. When you actually start to speak, especially when you do a live show like I'm doing tonight, as you do a live show, as you are speaking live, not recording it and then editing the crap out of it, when you're doing it live, it actually forces you to be super present. And as you do this, you start to mine your gold. And your gold, my friend, is in your awareness. It's in your mind. It's in the neural pathways of your brain. It's in all of the places and spaces from which you can create. But the thing of it is that so many of us, when we think about creating something, we go into, oh, what should I be creating? What should I be creating? We don't actually know how to tap our gold of what we already know of our brilliance. And the fastest and the easiest direct path to your gold is through your voice. So when you are speaking to your clients, when you are speaking live on video, when you are speaking on audio, when you're doing a podcast, when you're doing a TV show, whenever you are speaking, you have an opportunity to mine more of your gold. And from that space, that's where you get to learn greater how to show up and be visible. Because as you're mining more of your gold, you've got more content to speak to. And when you have more content to speak to, you have more content you can repurpose in different ways and be visible online to be discovered. So that's a lot. I know that's a lot, but it's so important that we understand that we have a voice that is directly connected to our brilliance. And the opportunity is so right there that if we can move past our nervousness, if we can move past worrying about what we're going to say, we can start to receive more than we even realized we have the ability to do that. So when you lack a strategic visibility plan and most likely a strategic business plan, you're missing out on a thorough business structure. You want to have a thorough business structure because that's going to lead people into the area of your expertise as you, the entrepreneur, knows you have. Like if you're listening to this show, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be an entrepreneur. You're going to want to learn more about how to be successful in business because that's what I talk about. So of course, those are the people that I attract. But if you're struggling with not knowing what to put out there, with being discovered and with creating more income, this is going to be a big part, is really diving in deeper into this visibility piece, into the art of visibility and what that really can look like for you and how much more fun and ease you can have with it. Okay, we are up for our next break. Do not go away. I have much more to share with you. I appreciate you being here. You're listening to Christine McIver on the Inspired Choices show here on the Inspired Choices Network. And if you're listening in Facebook and you'd like to ask a question, come on over to inspiredchoicesnetwork.com/chat room. I'll see you after the break.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
We are back. Thank you so much for being here. We are talking all about the art of visibility, being visible, and how important that is, and how that can make such a big difference in your life, in your self-confidence, in your business, and in your financial flows within your business. And who doesn't want to have all of that and have pleasure doing it? I know I certainly do. So let's talk about some of the strategies for enhancing visibility. So first of all, I've been talking about it for the last two segments. You need to have a plan. You need to have a plan. You need to have a marketing plan, and you need to have a strategic business plan. So your whole strategy around how you're going to do business, and then within there is a marketing plan. You want to get really clear about what your area of expertise is. And your area of expertise, so mine is business coaching, but then within the business coaching, there are other specifics that I speak to and that I teach. And so you want to get down to the specifics of your area of expertise and really dive into those so that you've got such a thorough understanding and so much confidence with knowing what it is that you do. After that, you want to look at, as I said, your core areas you focus on in your area of expertise. So what are those core areas? And dive deeply into those areas. Spend some time. I would say that creating these plans should be at least a 2-week process where you're really spending at least 1 to 2 hours a day for 2 weeks, really breaking all of this down. And it's something that you want to visit, and then you want to come back and you want to reread what you've written down. You want to go back over the plan. You want to keep asking yourself and challenging yourself as to what else that you do, what else that you teach, what else that you educate people about. A lot of people, they talk about all sorts of things, but they actually don't have it documented at what they really are excellent at, and those specific areas even more precisely. You want to then look, once you've gone through the core areas, you want to then go into an SEO strategy and keyword optimization. So you want to look at your areas of expertise and then your core areas within that area of expertise, and then begin to come up with an SEO strategy, what the keywords are that you can optimize when you're creating your content. So important. Then you want to start to create your content. So how are you going to create your content? As an entrepreneur, what content are you going to create, and how are you going to go about doing that? Do you have your own radio show, TV, podcast? If you do, your content is in that show. again and again and again. One of the things that we do here on Inspired Choices Network is, as our hosts are doing their show, just like I am now, our producers are taking down notable quotes. And so as you are speaking into your show and you're doing it live where you're tapping into your gold, those quotes start to come out of your mouth without you even realizing what you're saying. And those quotes then become gold for you to start marketing as well. So that's one way for you to gather content, is through those quotes. If you are writing up shows for your radio, TV, or podcast, that those show notes, they are part of your content as well, right? Some of your content can also be people making comments about what they received from your show, what they enjoyed about your show. That can be part of your content as well. If you've created a program, that program becomes your content. Now, you may not be, of course, taking that entire course and putting it online and promoting it, but you can certainly go through and grab some key points out of that course that you can be utilizing as your content to promote that, or to promote other things within your business, or just you generally in your area of expertise. So that's another way that you can be garnering content. You can also be garnering content through your coaching, your one-on-one coaching with your clients. Now, this is something that when I was coaching in person, I would have a notepad in front of me and a pen. And when something would really go, oh, like I would say something and all of a sudden it'd be like a light bulb in my head, I would write that down, because that was something like, wow, that's good. And I never thought about that before. Or when I'm coaching now and I'm coaching online, I will actually have a blank piece of paper. And as something comes up, not something personal about my client, but something that I become aware of as I'm coaching them, that can then become content that you can share with the world, right? Because if one client is having challenges and you've come up with something new, something to share, teach, and educate and support them about, you likely have many other people that would maybe also be able to receive support from you with that same area. So that's another way that you can get content. So you want to create your content, then you want to create your marketing plan around your content. And while I can't go into that all tonight, because we would take several hours to do that, there are different programs out there. And I have a program that I've developed around how you can create a marketing plan with your content. And then you want to start showing up consistently and regularly on social media. And when I say consistently, I am talking about daily. You should be at minimum showing up 2 to 3 times daily with content on all social media platforms. And that goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Why? Because there are so many people showing up. And in order for you to be discovered, people need to see your content many, many times. They talk about now that people need to see your content at least 40 times before they will actually pay attention, and that they will actually move into considering purchasing from you. So showing up consistently is very important. And here's a really cool thing though. As you create this content and you are creating your marketing plan and you start to create this marketing content and how you're going to put it out there in the world, you start to realize that you have more knowledge than you initially perhaps knew you had. Your confidence starts to rise. Well, when your confidence starts to rise, you open up to receiving even more of your own brilliance and your own gold. So it is like you're self-paying. It's a self-paying system. As you're putting something out there, you're paying it back to yourself through your awareness and your growth and your knowledge of yourself. It's very cool how this feeds back to us. You want to leverage your social media for brand awareness as well. You want to continue to put out there your brand. You want to speak to your brand. You want to use your coloring, but also over and above that is the way that you deliver your messages and what you are really intent on doing, and showing up consistently with your content starts to show people your brand is about supporting others. It's about sharing your knowledge base. You become known as somebody that they can rely upon to continuously show up and support and educate. That creates your brand, not just the colors that you're doing. And you want to also understand your customer and what their problem is that you solve. Speak to their problem, just like I am tonight. Speak to the problems that people are having. And when you start to speak to those problems, they're going to listen more and more. Don't just talk about you and your brilliance. I mean, yes, you're brilliant, but you need to speak to your customer in a way that they can identify with, and they can identify with the problems that you are solving. That's where you become even more elevated and get seen and recognized again and again. And once you've done this, once you have people that you're connecting with and that are repeatedly commenting or showing up on your page, right? You want to nurture that relationship. So you want to be communicating with them. Don't just throw your content out there in a way to be visible and not interact with people. It's one of the biggest mistakes that people make. You know, when someone makes a comment on one of your posts, respond to that comment, but you can also directly message that person, and not from oh, I'm going to directly message them so I can get them to hire me, but directly message them and say, hey, if you ever need any support, please let me know, or thank you so much for that comment. I'm grateful that you are interacting with my posts. It's so nice to have you here. Just start to nurture that relationship, just like you would nurture any relationship. Nurturing your relationship is a bigger way to get your content out there in the world and get yourself seen again and again, because now you're interacting and you're creating a relationship. The algorithms will also work in your favor when you are responding to them as well. So there's a lot of ways that you can actually start to create this and create this visibility and create this relationship with your possible customers out there. And then you want to, as you are connecting with these customers, you want to start to offer them. You want to start to offer them, perhaps you have a lead magnet, perhaps you have a document, a PDF document that you've created that would be a benefit to future clients and customers. You can offer to provide that to them. And as you offer to provide that to them, if they give you your email address, you can then have them part of your database. But guys, as soon as you get them into your database and you set up that email marketing automation, and you really work with personalizing their customer journey through your content, you want to keep nurturing the relationship. Keep talking to them. Don't change your interaction with them. Keep that going. Have it really be authentic as well. I know a lot of people use bots when they're interacting with people online. That's not my deal. I'm not in favor of that. I don't think that that's something, again, we have a smarter customer base in the world today. And when you are using bots, people are going to figure it out. They figure it out quite quickly, and it's a great way to turn people off. You're telling somebody, you're not important enough for me that I'm going to take the time to actually respond to you personally. Now, if you're too busy to respond to them personally because you're building and growing your business, well, maybe it's time for you to think about hiring someone to support you and help you in your business. Hiring someone part-time to start off can take a huge amount of work off of your plate, and it starts to have you focus on where you should be, creating your content, interacting with your customers, doing research and development work in your business. You as a business owner, think of it like this, if a task that you're doing is duplicatable, it can be done by someone else. Okay, so this is where you can grow your business even faster when you have support. This is how we double our time, is by having support, having somebody on our team. And even if you only have somebody on your team, like working 5 hours a week, it can be a huge huge weight off of your back, and where you can really be working with and nurturing those client relationships. The other thing that you want to do is you want to understand that as you recognize your brilliance, it's important for you to create content, create programs, create products to take that content and have that content be something that people can purchase. It's one thing to be sharing on social media and getting visibility, but if that visibility is not backed up with a product or a service that people can be utilizing as they interact with you, then you're not going to be in business very long. And so you've got to start looking at, okay, what is it that I could maybe make a membership out of? What is it that I could create that could be a product that could be sold? Where can I be creating so that my visibility is being increased through the interaction of clients who are paying me, right? So the art of visibility is about nurturing those relationships, but it's also about you creating income, because when you're creating income, you're going to have more resources to be able to show up and be even more visible. This all connects. All right, holy moly, we are up to our final break of the show. Thank you guys so much for being here. Again, if you would like to reach me, Christine at inspiredchoices.ca, I do have a strategic business plan package that we would work together to really start to create some strategy plans for you, and even start to dive a little bit into your marketing plan. If this is something that would really be an asset to you, please reach out to me. Let's discuss if we would be a great fit and see where we could take you and make, the end of 2023 to be something that you can look back on and be so grateful that you took the time to invest in yourself and in your business. So stick around. You're listening to Inspired Choices. I'm your host, Christine McIver, here on the Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices based on our past experiences or based on what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join the Inspired Choices show with business optimization expert Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know, but may not choose, that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back. She brings all her expertise to every show. Are you ready to create and live the life you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with business optimization expert Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, my friends. Oh my gosh, we've gone over so much today about the art of visibility. The art of visibility is within your grasp. I want you to understand that. And I want you to understand that it's not as complicated as it seems, but having a plan, really having a strategy to how to do that is going to be one of your best friends. Once you really do have that plan in place, then you can start to really look at your numbers. Your numbers as in how often you're posting, the kind of response you're getting from your posts, Not from I should have 1 million people commenting on this, not from that perspective, but what is getting people's attention? Know those numbers. Know the numbers as in how many people are reaching out to you. Know your financial numbers. Absolutely. You should know those numbers inside out and backwards. Absolutely have a financial person you're working with, your accountant, to go over your numbers is such an important piece in growing your business. Again, when you have more cash flow, you're going to have more visibility opportunities. You also want to know your numbers as in how many events that you're involved in, how many maybe summits that you are on, how many opportunities you have to get your visibility out there, and track that. Track the number of people that are following you or friends that are with you on different social media platforms. Watch and see how those numbers are changing. This is going to, all that information is a great resource to create your strategy, because you want to continuously be tweaking your marketing strategy and be tweaking your business strategy, right? So that information is extremely important. Know your numbers, and you want to do the analytics. Look at the analytics on these different platforms. Look at the analytics on your products that you're putting out there, as far as on the social media platforms, right? Look at those analytics. Look at who's interacting with you. Where are they interacting with you from? When do they interact with you? Think about, if you're looking to really expand into new areas on social media, maybe it's time to start looking at taking some in-depth courses in regards to those different social media platforms and learning even more about how they actually work to your advantage. You want to definitely be primarily on at least 2 to 3, because if you're not, and something happens with that particular platform, or God forbid, you should lose your profiles on that particular platform, you're going to lose everything. And this is where I really encourage my hosts and my clients rather, to have a customer relations management program where you're able to nurture your customers and you're able to send out newsletters, and you have a direct connection to people through their email, not that you are relying on a social media platform solely. And we all know that this happens all of the time, that people lose things. I've talked to so many different people who've lost, years of content because of social media. Somebody has either broken through to their profiles, or for some unknown reason, that platform actually deleted their content, deleted their profile. You don't want to be in that position. You're building a business that's your business. Make sure you have that content. Make sure you're utilizing that content to your advantage in more than one way. So you have brilliance in you, and your contribution is valuable, and the art you create is precious. Only you can do, and you must do that. That is a quote by Seth Godin, and it's so, so true. You have brilliance within you. Every single person does. And if you have your own business, you want to be cultivating that, and then you want to be sharing that. You want to get visible. You want to have people to be able to discover your brilliance. And it's time. It's time for you to really step up and really be seen and be heard, so that the world can be benefiting from what you have. It's easier than you can imagine. But if you're trying to do it by yourself, it can be incredibly overwhelming. It can be something that can stop you. It's actually something that can paralyze, and does paralyze, a lot of people into actually moving forward with their businesses. And that's such a shame. It's an opportunity that's available, and you don't have to do it alone. But you do have to make the choice. You have to make the choice to start to dive in more to showing up in your business in a new way, to showing up and doing your business in a way that brings you more traffic, more visibility, and of course, more pleasure. You don't have to do it alone. You don't have to be someone that is just, randomly putting stuff out there and praying that somebody's going to see it. when you create from this perspective, you'll be able to create a sustainable business. And 10 years being in your business, you will be among.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, be willing to choose what you really desire. This is your life, making the choices that bring you all that you desire.